If you are new to fitness and you've been going down the rabbit hole on the internet of what you should do for strength training, what you should do for cardiovascular training, or maybe you've just been focusing on one or the other, learn from some of my mistakes or what I wish I would have known before I started in fitness. I'm Catherine. I'm the personal trainer and running coach here at Kathletics. Here at Kathletics, we're all about meeting you where you are in your fitness so you can approach hybrid training in a sustainable way. For some background, I've been in the fitness industry professionally for over 7 years, and prior to that, I had been training on my own for an additional 6 years. So I've been in fitness or some realm of working out for the last 13 plus years. Now, actually, prior to that, I wasn't an athlete growing up. I didn't really play sports. I think I played basketball for 1, maybe 2 years, and I ice skated for the same about 1 to 2 years. So it's not like I came from an athletic side or grew up playing a bunch of sports. I didn't dive into fitness until I was in college. And at that time, I dove into more of a disordered process of training as well as eating. I won't dive too much into that today, but let's get to these 10 tips that I wish I would have considered or known before getting into my fitness journey. First things first, strength training and cardiovascular training are equally as important. One isn't superior to the other. They both are in a proper plan, so you need to make sure that you're doing both. And this is something that I did incorrectly when I first started. When I first started into fitness, I was going all in on cardio. Well, then I injured myself for a variety of reasons, but I did injure myself, and then I was kind of forced into tapping into strength training. Once I discovered strength training, I was kind of doing both way too much. I wasn't managing my training volume, I wasn't managing my nutrition and other factors that do play into your fitness. And then from there, I shifted into only doing strength training. So I wasn't doing any cardiovascular training, or at least very minimally, and went all in on strength, which again was something, but missing that piece of cardio. So cardio is very important for your heart health. So we want to be able to pair those two together, which is obviously what I did eventually. And that's how we came up with hybrid training and my hybrid training plans over the last several years. So I did go through those several phases. So what I'm hoping for you is that you don't have to go through those several phases. You can just dive right in, do both strength training and cardiovascular training because they are both important for a well-rounded training program. Number two, fitness doesn't have a look. And this is something that we as a society need to continue to chip away at because you often see somebody who may be lean or thin or skinny or something like that, and we think, oh, they're healthy, which that doesn't actually correlate to that. And then you see somebody that is in a bigger body, and then you think, oh, that means unhealthy. And that is just completely untrue. What somebody's body size looks like does not equate to health, and it does not show what their athleticism is. As you have seen in the Olympics, there are all body types within the Olympics, and those are elite level athletes. So when you go into your fitness, when you go into any type of training, understand that you do not need to look a certain way in order to achieve your healthiest self. Number three, sleep and nutrition are two of the best recovery tools out there. I know there's lots of supplements that are available that are going to cure one specific piece of the puzzle, but I promise you that one supplement is probably not going to make a big difference unless you look at the big picture of what you're doing with your sleep, your quality of sleep and quantity, as well as your nutrition, making sure you're getting protein, making sure that you're consuming colorful produce, and making sure that you're getting whole grains and other things like that that are going to give you a well-rounded nutrition plan. You also need to be making sure that you are managing your stress. So these factors are going to have a much higher impact on your recovery than a single supplement or even a couple supplements. That doesn't mean that supplements don't have a place in your program, because I, for myself, also take supplements as needed. But again, we want to make sure that we have the basics down before we start just taking random supplements or something that you saw on the internet. Number four, training is going to look different throughout various seasons of life. So what you're doing at this time, so say you are aiming to train for 3 times per week, there are going to be times where maybe you can train up to 5 times per week, maybe 6 times per week, but then there's also going to be times where you need to bring it down and you might be able to get 1 to 2, 1 to 3 sessions in per week. So understand that it isn't going to always look the exact same week after week, month after month, or even year after year, but the main thing is that you're staying consistent with it. And that takes us to number 5. Consistency is everything. This is going to be the key part of your plan because you need to make sure that year after year, month after month, we are continually focusing on strength training and cardiovascular training in some capacity. Again, those are going to ebb and flow throughout seasons, but as long as you are doing it consistently over time, you will receive those benefits and understand that fitness is for life. Moving on to number 6. Having aesthetic goals is completely fine, but feeling strong and having aerobic capacity is chef's kiss. We want that. We want to make sure that we're feeling strong, that we have some sort of aerobic base or capacity to us so we can sustain having heart health and muscular health for the long term. Again, that doesn't mean that you cannot have aesthetic goals, but it's also important that we feel like we are strong and capable human beings. Number 7, you got to eat if you want to grow. This is something that I wish I would have really thought about when I first started. As I had mentioned, I was kind of in like a disordered eating habit as well as disordered approach to training. So again, if you want to grow your muscles, you have to make sure that you're eating enough. This means prioritizing protein. This means eating enough carbs. This means eating enough food in general to support that muscular growth. So if growing is part of your goal, we need to make sure that we are fueling to support that. Number 8, putting your weights away at the gym actually makes you a top-notch human. Not everybody does that. Be the good person, put your weights away. That's all I have to say about number 8. Number 9, more isn't better, better is better. So more training or more time on your feet or more weight, more volume, all of these things that are more doesn't necessarily mean that's better for you. Better programming gives you better results. If you're looking to take the guesswork out of your training, be sure to click the link in the description to check out our hybrid training programs. Number 10, fitness is fun. I know that that's probably not saying much coming from somebody who lives out fitness every single day, being a personal trainer, but it really is, especially because you can find your community within fitness, you can build healthy habits that are going to help you for the long run, and overall, you just are able to find enjoyment with it day in and day out as you get more comfortable with training. If one of these 10 notes really resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, be sure to like, subscribe, and then we'll see you in the next one.